Greetings and welcome. I'm back again to continue with the topic, the financing decision. We've been studying the various sources of funds with the keen interest on the long-term sources. Today we've come to the end of the study of long-term sources in this lesson. This lesson will mark the end of that segment on long-term sources of funds. So far, we've done the characteristics, advantages, and disadvantages of equity, of debt, hybrids. We've looked at the venture capital. We've done the other private equity. We've also had an opportunity to study asset securitization and sale. We looked at Islamic finance, as well as business angel finance and lease finance. Today we want to study the last aspect of the long-term sources of finance, which is the initial coin offerings, the ICOs, initial coin offerings. In this lesson, we will outline the characteristics of ICOs, the benefits, and also the drawbacks. But first of all, what is an ICO? What is this source we are referring to as initial coin offerings? Now, ICOs candidates are a fundraising method in which a company or project issues or sells digital coins or tokens to investors. And these tokens often represent a stake or utility in the project or in the company, and are typically based on blockchain technology. In our last chapter, we will look at that technology, the blockchain technology. So the ICOs are based on blockchain technology. And these ICOs candidates have gained popularity as a means of raising capital in the cryptocurrency and what we call the blockchain space. Do you understand? Let me take it again. In the ICOs, we are saying, refers to a fundraising method where companies issue and sell digital tokens. They sell digital tokens to investors, and these tokens represent a stake in the company or in the project. And this method is based on blockchain technology. So we are going to study the characteristics of ICOs, the advantages, and also the disadvantages. But let us begin with the characteristics of ICOs. Characteristics. What are the features? What are the attributes of ICOs? The first one is token sale. In defining it, I mentioned that companies sell tokens. So there is what we call token sale. In an ICO, a company or project sells tokens to participants in exchange for cryptocurrencies, such as Bitcoin or Ethereum or any other type. So these tokens may represent ownership. These tokens may represent utility. These tokens may also represent future access to the project's products or services. So if a company wants to undertake a project, it may sell these tokens so that in future, after the success of the project, then the holders of these tokens may participate in the success or in the ownership or the benefits that may accrue as a result of the success of the project. It could be services, could be products, and so on. So token sale is one feature of ICOs. Token sale. Token sale. Number two, decentralized nature. Decentralized nature. Decentralized nature. ICOs often leverage blockchain technology, which provides a decentralized and transparent way of raising funds without the need for traditional intermediaries like banks. It's decentralized. There is also global accessibility as a feature. Global accessibility. This is a feature, and later on we'll see how this is also an advantage. ICOs have a global reach, allowing projects to raise funds from diverse pool of investors worldwide, and that global access is facilitated by the use of cryptocurrencies and also blockchain technology. The fourth feature is smart contracts. Smart contracts. Smart contracts. Self-executing contracts. These are self-executing contracts. All right? Smart means they are, in other words, self-executing contracts. And with these contracts comes the terms of the agreement directly written into the code. It's not on paper. It's smart contracts. They are written into the code and are commonly used in ICOs to automate the distribution of tokens and ensure transparency in the fundraising process. There are no intermediaries. All right? Courtesy of technology. Smart contracts. Self-executing. Smart contracts are self-executing contracts that are written, the terms and conditions are written within the code. And that makes the process transparent. So there is transparency in the fundraising process. 5, early stage funding. Early stage funding. Now, ICOs are often used by early stage blockchain and cryptocurrency projects. They are used to raise capital for development. They are used to they may be helpful in marketing and also other operating expenses. That is a feature of ICOs, early stage funding. Pros of ICOs, pros of ICOs, pros of ICOs. One is global accessibility, access to global capital. Access to global capital. We saw here that it has global accessibility, and therefore ICOs have access to global capital. They provide access to global pool of potential investors, allowing projects to raise funds from diverse and decentralized network. 2, innovation and disruption. Innovation and disruption. ICOs have been a catalyst for innovation. They've also been a catalyst for disruption in fundraising. enabling projects with the novel blockchain-based ideas to secure funding directly from the public or from the communities. 3, liquidity for investors. Liquidity for investors. Now, token holders can often trade their token on cryptocurrency exchanges, providing liquidity and also the ability to exit their investment and thereby potentially realizing profit. So these tokens can be traded on cryptocurrency exchanges, and that boosts or fosters or brings about liquidity for investors. Those who bought the tokens can resell them in cryptocurrency exchanges. 4, token utility. Token utility. ICOs tokens may confer utility within the project's ecosystem, allowing the holders to access specific services, to participate in governance, or even receive discount on future services or future products of the project. Token utility. 5, blockchain integration. Blockchain integration. ICOs also candidates leverage blockchain technology, introducing what we call transparency, introducing security and efficiency to the fundraising process throughout the use of distributed ledger technology. Distributed ledger technology. Through the use of distributed ledger technology. There is the blockchain integration. You understand? This will be made clearer when we'll be looking at blockchain technology in our last chapter. The good thing with the video lectures, you can study blockchain technology in our last chapter, where we have given an explanation of and lectures on blockchain technology. We have lectures on cryptocurrencies. So candidates, these are the benefits of ICOs. The cons, what are the cons? The downside of ICOs. Disadvantages, drawbacks. 1, regulatory uncertainty. Regulatory uncertainty is a disadvantage. The regulatory environment for ICOs is often uncertain and can vary significantly between jurisdictions. So regulatory challenges and compliance issues can pose risks for both issuers and also the investors. There is regulatory uncertainty when it comes to ICOs. 2, fraud and scams is yet another disadvantage of ICOs. The ICO space has experienced instances of fraud and scams, where dishonest actors launch fake projects to deceive investors. And that has led to increased skepticism and increased regulatory scrutiny. Fraud and scams. The ICO space has seen instances of scams and fraud. Number 3, volatility. Volatility and speculation. Volatility and specialization is yet another disadvantage. Why? Because ICO markets can be highly volatile, meaning that the value of tokens may experience significant fluctuations, and the speculative behavior is common in the cryptocurrency space. So there is high volatility and specialization when dealing with initial coin offerings. 4, there is lack of investor protection. Lack of investor protection. Investors are not protected in ICO space. Unlike traditional securities offerings, ICOs may lack investor protection such as disclosure requirements, such as regulatory oversight that may lead to potential risks for investors. There are also technological risks associated with ICOs. Technological risks. ICO projects are often based on emerging technologies, and there may be risks that are related or associated to the development, the implementation, and also the security of underlying blockchain technology. So these are 5 disadvantages. We have 5 characteristics and 5 advantages. The first advantage is access to global capital. ICOs have access to global capital. Those companies that may want to raise money or cash using initial coin offerings, they have access to global capital. Innovation and disruption, number 2, the second advantage. There is liquidity for investors. We saw that investors can sell their tokens in the cryptocurrency exchanges. Number 4, token utility. Then lastly, blockchain integration. We have 5 characteristics of ICOs. 1, token sale, decentralized nature, global accessibility, smart contracts, early stage funding. Then there are 5 disadvantages of ICOs. 1 is regulatory uncertainty, fraud and scams, volatility and speculation, lack of investor protection, and technological risks. So that will mark the end of this lesson and the end of the study of long-term sources of funds. The last source is ICOs, initial coin offerings. Today we've studied how ICOs have been a disruptive force in fundraising, offering innovative ways for blockchain technology or projects to access capital globally. However, we've also seen that the lack of regulatory clarity, the susceptibility to fraud, the volatility of cryptocurrencies, the lack of investor protection, the technological risks pose significant challenges to the companies or individuals intending to raise funds using ICOs. And the investors who are considering participation in ICOs should conduct thorough due diligence. They should do what? They ought to conduct thorough due diligence, and projects should navigate what we call regulatory landscape in order to ensure compliance and build trust within the community. So thank you for attending the lesson. In our next session, we are going to begin on the middle-term sources of funds. This has been long-term. We will start looking at the medium-term, then we move on to the short-term sources of funding. But here you have today's assignment. 1. What is the concept of initial coin offering, and how does it differ from traditional methods of raising capital, such as initial public offerings? Number 2, what challenges and risks are associated with participation in or launching ICOs, and how do regulatory frameworks impact the legitimacy and success of ICO projects? 3, discuss the potential advantages and disadvantages of using cryptocurrency-based funding models like ICOs, both for the project initiators and the investors involved. Thank you for attending the lesson. I remain truly yours, Sagwa. Bye-bye.